Wonder is a feeling of surprise mingled with admiration caused by something pretty, unexpected, unknown, or inexplicable. Moreover, Malaysia has a lot of heritage buildings that are magnificent and beautiful all over the country. There are 7 wonders of building and monument which we will be presenting. Those are KLCC, A Famosa, Kukongsi Temple, Istana Kenanga, Fort Maharita, and Sultan Abu Bakar Mosque. It is important for us to be preserving our building and monument as they display a mixture of our different cultures and races of Malaysia as well as our country's history.
Petronas Twin Towers are situated in the heart of Kuala Lumpur City. This tower symbolizes Malaysia and are the must-visit landmark for tourists who travel to Kuala Lumpur. Although they were once the tallest building in the world and was surpassed by Taipei 101 later on in year 2004, but it still remains as the tallest twin buildings in the world. The cost of production for this landmark is $1.6 billion. On 31st August 1999, Petronas Twin Towers have been officially opening by Dato Sri Dr. Mahathir Mohamad, the 4th Prime Minister of Malaysia. Another world record achieved by these towers is they have the highest double-decker sky bridge in the world, which is 170 meters from street level. Furthermore, Suria KLCC, Aquaria KLCC, and Petrol Science are interesting places for tourists to visit. At night, the greenery park situated outside Suria KLCC will be decorated by a musical fountain called Lake Symphony. These special design buildings have brought over millions of tourists into our country per year. We should preserve these skyscrapers from time to time so that our next generation may enjoy this meaningful honor as a truly Malaysian.
The Istana Kenangan used to be a royal residence in Kuala Kangsar, Perak. It was built for Sultan Iskandar Shah in 1926 by a carpenter named Haji Sofyan Ahmad with the help of his 2 sons. The palace was constructed without the use of nails and it is said to be the only Malay palace in Malaysia that has bamboo walls. The palace was painted yellow and it was completed in 1931. When viewed from the top of the building, the shape of a sword can be seen. It has now been converted into the Perak Royal Museum that exhibits the history of the monarchy and houses the heritage of Perak State.
Kukongsi is a unique Chinese dialect organization in Malaysia. It is famous in the world because of its huge descendants that have been formed 650 years ago. The Kukongsi Leong Santong, which is also known as Dragon Mountain Hall, is a clan house as well as the temple that was built more than 100 years ago. The expert craftsmen from China were employed to produce fine carvings on the wall, pillars, and roof of temple. Gold nameplates of those who had contributed to the clan are hung on the walls. The temple was nearly destroyed in a fire in 1901 during Chinese New Year Eve, but then the temple was reconstructed in year 1920. Chinese opera shows had brought the temple alive during the 7th month of the Chinese calendar. Kukongsi Temple is the center of Ku family's history and culture, thus we should work hard to preserve it. It also reflects that we, the Malaysians, live in a multi-racial society.
A Famosa is a Portuguese military building and is one of the oldest surviving European architectural remains in Asia. It was controlled by countries that were once powerful, which were Portugal, Netherlands, and Britain. Afonso is the commander of Portugal, which rules Malacca, as he defeated the armies of the Malacca Sultanate. He had built A Famosa and believed that it is an important port linking Portugal to the spice road in China. The fort then changed hands when the Dutch drove the Portuguese out of Malacca. They renovated the gate and named the logo Anno 1670. The fortress changed hands again when the Dutch handed it over to British to prevent it from falling into the hand of France. The small gatehouse is the only remaining part of the fortress still standing as British destroyed the building. The destruction of A Famosa was spared thanks to Sir Stamford Raffles, who was the founder of Singapore.
Sultan Abu Bakar Mosque is also known as the State Mosque, which is located at Jalan Masjid Sultan Abu Bakar, Johor Bahru. It was built on a hill which allows visitors to overlook the strait between Johor and Singapore. It was named after Sultan Abu Bakar bin Temenggung Ibrahim. Sultan Abu Bakar Mosque is seen as the glory of Sultan Abu Bakar Kingdom from year 1886 to year 1895. During the ruling period of Sultan Abu Bakar, Johor had achieved its golden age. Sultan Abu Bakar commissioned the construction of this mosque in year 1893. It took 7 years to complete the construction of this mosque. After Sultan Abu Bakar has passed away in year 1895, the predecessor of his kingdom, Sultan Ibrahim ibn Abu Bakar, took over the role of supervising the construction of mosques with the help of Dato Yahya bin Awaluddin, who was the engineer of Johor government. Nowadays, Sultan Abu Bakar Mosque is a place for local Islamic worshippers to pray every day, seeing its size, which can accommodate up to 2,000 prayers at one time. However, prayers are not allowed to pray on Friday as it is open for tourists to visit only. This mosque has now been declared as a protected heritage monument by the Department of Museums and Antiquities Malaysia. Seeing its history value for the Johor citizens as well as for the Malaysians, we should preserve it from damage due to the rapid globalization.
Fort Margherita is an old fort which is built in 1897 by Charles Brock. Its location is strategic, which is on the hill of north bank of Sarawak River. It is a fort with the style of English castle. Nowadays, it is owned by Sarawak state government. The main purpose of this fort is to prevent Kuching from being attacked by the pirates. Fort Margherita is a 3-story fort. Inside the tower blocks battlements, there is a watch point on the top and a 5 meters high wall with sharp glass surrounded the courtyard. The wooden windows, the place to fire the cannons, are set into the wall. Courtyards of Fort Margherita is the place to implement the supreme penalty of the convicts. The main function of the fort was as a prison. Fort Margherita needs to be preserved because it is a historical building which is more than 100 years.
Sultan Abdul Samad Building was named after Sultan Abdul Samad, who ruled from 1857 to 1898. It is located in front of the Dataran Merdeka and the Royal Selangor Club in Kuala Lumpur. The Sultan Abdul Samad Building was designed by a British architect, Arthur Charles Alfred Norman. It is a merge of North Indian and Moorish architecture. After Malaysia achieved independence in 1957, the clock tower has chimed every year at 12 midnight to indicate the independence commemoration. Currently, Sultan Abdul Samad Building is housed by the Ministry of Information, Communication and Culture of Malaysia. The Improvident Building has held many historical occasions, such as the Proclamation of Independence of Malaysia on 31st August 1957 and the lowering of Union Jack.
The 7 buildings that can be regarded as the 7 wonders of Malaysia are the Petronas Twin Tower, A Famosa, Kukongsi Temple, Istana Kenangan, Fort Margherita, Sultan Abdul Samad Building and Sultan Abu Bakar Mosque. These 7 buildings stated has amazing architecture and it hosts many historical events that is worth knowing. With the existence of these 7 buildings, we understand more about the place we live in, and this can assist us to learn for a better future. Therefore, it is very important to preserve these buildings.